Hi there. Okay, so we've got to the end of another section. Well done. Keep going. It won't be long now. It's getting close, and that's the worst part over, really, pretty much. And it kind of, when you're an artist, unwrapping UVs is kind of a dip in the sort of process, if you like, because it's can be quite monotonous at times. But it's a task that needs doing, and you've done it, so that's good. Hopefully you've done that. If you go through the high poly route, then you kind of things like 3D Coat or ZBrush will kind of do your mapping for you. It's a lot easier basically coming down than it is to go up. Okay, so what did we learn in this section? Let's take a look. Okay, so we started with some basic shapes. Just to get warmed up. I think it was a cube and a cylinder, very simple shapes, just to get the idea of the process across. And then we continued by merging multiple objects so they can share UV space, and that's quite important because there's a lot of objects in this scene where you can merge objects and save texture space. Game engines like fewer textures. With every texture you add, it's a pass it has to make. So if you can merge textures and fill up all those little gaps, that's really important to do. You've learned how to do that now, so it's pretty straightforward. And then we UV'd the barrel and used straighten. Kind of. It kind of worked. I'm not quite sure why 3D Studio doesn't like that function. I mean, it works pretty well. It does straighten it, but it kind of sends it a bit skew-if, and you have to straighten it up sort of manually. But you know, it's done. It's there. You know how to use it now, so go ahead and use that. And then we created some multi-sub materials, which is quite important, and you'll use that a lot going forward in your own projects. It's really useful. And then we tackled some complex shapes like the oak tree, for example. And there's plenty of trees in this scene, so you know, use the same technique for all of them. I'm not going to show you how to do all of them. You can, you know, go forward and do the other trees. Sitting here watching somebody do, you know, set up UVs is not great, as you've probably just experienced, but doing it is pretty mundane also. I'm not gonna lie, but it's a job that needs doing, so you know, we just need to jump in and get the rest of the trees done and the other objects. We UV'd the hut, all of the hut in fact, and we learned how to tile across the surface on various elements of the hut, the roof, the walls, which is really cool. So you can use that on much bigger objects. And then we tackled the window and we flattened all the UVs, and that's quite useful for really small detailed objects that are quite fiddly basically. I mean, you could actually go in and do that manually on that window, but you know, I was just showing you another function. If you wanted to use it in a different circumstance, you can use flatten. And then I gave you various challenges like the steps. I hope you've done those, and the porch floor. I hope you did those too. And then at the end, I asked you to set up the door to be a multi-sub object, multi-sub material, and to UV that. And later in the course, we're going to go through it in more detail again. So hopefully you're going to take up that challenge and go forward with that. So that's it. That's UV unwrapping, pretty much done. There are more objects obviously in the scene, and I've showed you a lot of ways you can UV an object by setting up seams and unwrapping and peeling back the UVs on the objects. So you know how to do it now. You don't need to watch me do all of the objects, so you can go ahead and do any remaining objects that are left at this point quite easily. You should have the skills to do that now. So that's it for now. Hopefully you learnt a lot in that section, because that's a lot of bullet points there. and I'll see you in the next section.